What Happened This Week podcast. Just two best friends chatting in the trailer about all the things you are thinking about. Because you never know with Kim and Tricia.
Straight out of the trailer. Hey guys, so thanks for listening. This will be episode 1 of our very exciting endeavor that we get to do with each other. Whoop whoop. Yeah, this is very exciting for us. Kim and I, we have been friends since 10th grade.
That's almost 25 years.
We're definitely how old we are.
We just aged ourselves.
Exactly, we did. So we have been friends that long. We met when at the same age that our kids are now, which is really cool.
That's right,
fun.
yeah.
And we met in 10th grade English class.
Mrs. Carpenter's class.
Mm-hmm. And Kim sat behind me.
Yes, I did.
Which is kind of weird, though, because my last name is Gray and yours is Styles. So we must have just been random seating.
Maybe.
Not quite sure why.
I don't know if it was assigned or if we just had to pick.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't remember.
I don't know, and I don't know why I ended up sitting there.
But that was fate.
It was fate. And funny enough, is my sister's name was Kim, so the Kim and Tricia just made sense.
It did, that's right.
Yeah, so I was sitting there, and I, as you would put it, was a little bit of a goody two-shoes.
Yeah, you were a cheerleader, and I was of the redneck, and yeah, it was definitely an odd couple for sure.
That's why we were.
That's right.
So, and I had a pretty good grade point average, I guess.
I think mine was like less than 2.0, like a 1.5. So that's possible, yeah.
So we had a test, and Kim told me to move my elbow because she couldn't see the answers.
I think it was a spelling test.
Probably, but joke was on you because I'm a terrible speller. So.
And I am as well. So I just feel like if I was doing bad, nobody could do worse than I could do.
It was probably like the worst test to cheat off of me. And
if I was sitting behind you, did I end up sitting beside you that day? How did that happen?
No, because it was like that desk that has comes over to one side for put your arm on. That's why you need me to move my elbow.
That's right. How clever was that? That's why I sat behind you, because if sitting beside you would have been a little more obvious.
Exactly. So you were just looking ahead.
That's right. See, I'm always planning.
You need me to move my elbow off the elbow rest so you could see the answers.
See, I may not have been a good speller, but I was a good planner back in the day. So I kind of strategically sat myself in a position to cheat off of you.
So we went through high school as we were friends. I wouldn't say we were best of friends, but we were definitely friends. We hung in the same groups, here and there, and then high school ended.
Yep.
And I didn't see you for a few years, and then Stacy invited me to her wedding after party or pre-party. I'm not sure.
I think it was an after party, yeah, because she got married at the courthouse.
Okay, yes. Yeah, so she invited me over, and it was at your house.
Right.
And so it was like, hey, how you been?
Right.
But it wasn't super friendly. It was kind of you were probably what is she doing here? Stacey, why did you invite her? We don't even know her.
That's right. There was so many people that night too.
It was quite a few people. My sister came. She came with me.
Really?
Yeah.
I remember that.
I don't think we were there that long. I think maybe it was.
Did you leave to go to the other party?
I didn't know there was another party.
Well, yeah. I mean, we had the reception at our house. I should say at my trailer.
Yes.
And they shortly, probably within an hour or two, there was another party going on down the street. I think it was Hope Sound, I'm thinking. And everybody left. And 5 minutes after everybody left, the cops showed up. Because, you can imagine I had cars everywhere.
There was a lot of cars.
So I'm just sitting there on the picnic table nobody's here. There was a party 5 minutes ago.
Again, joke's on you.
Yes. So, but everybody went to the party and then a big fight ensued.
Yeah, no. I didn't stay long because I think there were people there.
Right.
That I didn't want to hang out with.
Gotcha.
Not you.
No.
By no means. But it was other people.
Everybody left my party. They went to another party and a big fight ensued. Somebody's ear got bit off.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And then the guy ended up going to prison.
Yeah. Okay. I think I know. I think I read it in the paper. I don't know. Anyway. So then time went on again. Apparently many years, because the next time we ran into each other, our kids were 4.
4.
And I went to get ice cream at the old Twisty Treat on Cove Road, and I ran it. And actually, I saw Joe first.
Right.
And he was much friendlier than you were. He's like, hey, how's it going? And you were kind of probably so much time has gone by. You haven't seen this person, and we weren't best of friends in high school, so it was still kind of oh, hey, how are you guys?
That's right.
So, and it was oh, good to see ya. Oh, this is Taylor, this is Gavin. So it's kind of crazy.
That was awkward, yeah.
Yeah. And then Stacy moved back.
That's right.
From Orlando.
Yes.
And she was like, hey, we're going to get together at my house on Wednesday. Why don't you come? And then Kim comes over. I was like, okay. So I went. And that was all she wrote.
Oh, that was the start of it all.
I think we stayed up to like just talking until like 1 o'clock in the morning, and it was like, where has this person been all my life?
It was like,
see,
yeah, and then now here we are.
And here we are, and our kids are best friends.
Yes,
I mean, our babies grew up together, from the age of 4, so they've done just about everything. We've gone to SeaWorld, we've gone like every milestone they've done together. So I think that's beyond cool.
Yeah, and they didn't go to the same schools, but still connected. But now they're in the same high school.
Yeah,
so
and that makes them, and people think they're cousins.
Yes, they do.
As well.
Yeah.
And then I mean, like, and we've always been close. I think we've got, from the point of best friends to sisters, I think that really happened for us when we got married.
Right. I think so, yeah.
It really showed our commitment to each other and our friendship. We have plenty of people in our lives that love us and are there for us, but nobody could have done what you did for me for my wedding. just working. You worked that thing better than my wedding planner.
Seriously, I want my payback.
Exactly.
Where's my money?
Uh-huh.
I remember, it's funny because there was an elevator, and I had the cart. And I remember going around everywhere and just finding like all the odds and ends. And Jason's mom and I were like, we were like a team.
Exactly.
And it was like, I just remember like, oh my gosh, I forgot this. And I had to, just making sure that everything behind the scenes was going as planned, to make sure that you had a beautiful wedding. And
you did a great job. Thank you.
Yeah. And then you, with my wedding, you stayed the night with me. Well, we both stayed the night with each other.
Yes.
The night before we got married. And I remember yours, we went upstairs to
level 8. It's in the hotel. It's on the 8th floor, level 8. And we were like these old ladies.
We were so old, trying to hang out with the young crew on like some balcony bar, which is kind of cool. If you were like 20, I totally would rock that.
It was amazing. It was, and like because we had done rehearsal dinner back at the hotel bar with everybody. And finally, I think we left that hotel at like 10 or 11. It's like, listen, you're like, we gotta go. And they're like, hey, I want to take you up. Let's go have a drink by ourselves. So, because this is a huge moment. Let's reflect on this, you know? And we sat down, and it was kind of like, because it was a Friday night in Tallahassee with young people at this club with a DJ. And it was like, can I just have a McUltra, please?
We're so old lady like. And then we went back to your room. I think I tried to roofie you, not roofie you.
You want me to take a sleeping pill?
I wanted you to take a sleeping pill just because I needed you to be refreshed and ready to go in the morning.
I couldn't do it. I was like, no, I've been drinking, and it freaks me out. So.
Yeah, you don't want to mix that. Me, I'll be like, whatever, give me what you got.
Oh, you had no problem taking your sleeping pills the night before your wedding.
Oh no, just cashing out my nerves,
I know.
It's crazy.
I stayed up watching live PD. You missed the whole episode.
Was I snoring?
Probably,
yeah.
I probably had to tell you to roll over.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It was just like sleeping at home. No big deal.
Yeah, it's a big enough bed, that's for sure.
That was beautiful. It was really nice. And I think then having Reagan, and again, you're like the biggest party planner on the planet, and you're like, that's what you should do for a living. You should be a party planner.
I thought about that.
You're really good at it.
I like to execute. I just get nervous like how it's going to happen. I mean, I like to plan and then execute, but I always nervous that people aren't going to have a good time.
I think anybody has that,
Yeah, definitely.
I think that I'd like to be a party planner and then have staff.
Right.
For the rest, to run the party.
Right.
I'm only here for an emergency.
Yeah.
And then you and James are Reagan's godparents.
Yes, we are. Mm-hmm. That was an honor to be her godparent, for sure.
She loves her Aunt Kimmy and her Jeep.
And she's a hoot.
Oh my gosh, she's a mess. And I think brings us to now.
And then I think really is that, just in our friendship and how much we can connect with each other. And it just like, it's like we don't ever miss a beat.
It's easy.
It's really easy.
It's just easy. I think that anytime, and this has come as time goes on, and having friends and finding friends and meeting, because you had friends.
Right.
And James had friends.
Right.
And then you had to mingle your friends. And sometimes that's really hard, and it's like, oh gosh, like some people don't mesh.
Right.
And so who could have been James's best friend? His wife may not be your person.
That's right.
That's tough.
It's real tough.
Fortunately, our husbands get along.
Right.
They're both easy.
They're easy.
So they, get along well with each other. But yeah, when they getting married to somebody or dating somebody new and you have to meet their new friends, that's tough. Being an adult, finding friends is tough. So when this is easy, it's just easy. And
this is day 3 of us hanging out, and we're not sick of each other yet.
Exactly.
I don't know, after this podcast, we might be.
Maybe.
We'll be breaking for a week.
I don't know. I could totally go on vacation with you and stay in a house and not be annoyed.
Yeah.
Because I know that you're like me. Like, you would do the dishes.
Right.
Like, you would be like, I wouldn't come out and be like, oh my God, there's a thing full of dishes, because you would use a dish and wash a dish.
Right. It'd be
That
done.
makes you my person,
Yeah.
because that's a big deal.
That's a huge deal. I hate dishes in the sink.
I hate dishes too.
No,
but,
and and it's like we never miss a beat either, in the sense of like we can talk for hours.
Yes.
About random stuff.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, even if we don't see each other for a couple days, like, so much stuff has happened.
Yeah, like, girl, let me tell you.
Let me tell you what happened.
Did
I'm
you
like,
hear about so-and-so?
right, like our meetings before we meet for the podcast.
Like 2 hours long.
They are. It's like we got to go quickly do our 30 minutes so we
Exactly.
can get, and one day we might give some insight to those conversations, but that has to be behind closed doors.
We talk about Karen a lot.
We talk about Karen a lot. And we decide on what material or what we're not going to talk about on the podcast. But you never know. We might do a little side note on that one day, and we'll expose Karen. But
yeah.
for now, Karen is going to remain Karen, and
Exactly.
Karen's Karen.
Karen's just the scapegoat to our
Our
gossip.
She is, and everybody has a Karen in their life.
Mm-hmm.
Karen is going to be a reoccurring guest. I don't know how often she'll appear, but because of things that people do, she might be on every episode. you just never know.
We can't make this crazy up.
No, you can't make crazy up.
Yeah.
Not this crazy up.
No, and you should know that Karen is a made-up character, but the stories are real.
The stories are real. It's like,
we just changed the names.
I feel like we're like, what? It's like the first 48 hours. Like the
names have changed to protect their identity. That's what we've done. You're welcome to you idiots.
Yes,
okay?
you are. So, and with Tricia being pregnant, what's even more funnier is that she experiences the drunkenness, or sees the drunkenness, or sees people who are at their worst when she's at her best. Yes. So she definitely probably has some more Karen stories at times than I do. I'm probably Karen at some times.
As Karen did some stuff a couple weeks ago, so
well, we all have to have our different zip code, no rules,
Exactly.
Well, and apparently, which is weird because I'm not that person. I'm pretty like together when we go somewhere, but when I'm in my hometown, I kind of cut loose a little bit.
Yeah, and I think that you're my person. Like, I'm shy and reserved, and you help me come out of that. Like, I have more confidence around you. I think that helps, in crowds, like, because that I have anxiety with crowds and things, but as long as I have, like, my person, which is you, or, Jason helps me with that as well, but it makes it easier to do things.
Definitely. Mm-hmm. And your confidence, like, you can keep a conversation going. Like, an awkward, like, you fill in the awkwardness, because I'm like, hey, and I'm like, and then I'm done. I'm like, what's next? But
a beer?
Squirrel! You get a couple beers in me, and I become a little bit more loosey-goosey kind of thing, but you come to the table you have knowledge about every subject, it seems like. It's like you Googled that stuff before you talk about it. I don't know.
I know a little bit about a lot of stuff.
That's good. But, it's like, I'm like, I don't gotta call Tricia. She's my financial advisor. Like, she just, she gets it. And, like, you get it, like, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you told me, like, 5 sentences, and I just was still hanging on to the first sentence. So, and thanks. Soon enough, I'm going to congratulate you because you're going to be walking soon. You're with your degree.
I am finally. It's taken me a really long time to get my bachelor's degree. I didn't go the route that everybody else, not everybody else, I shouldn't say, some people do, and I waited, and I went back to school. I think Gavin was probably like 6 or 7, and it took me a while. I took like 2 years off between getting married and having Reagan. I think that was it's a very important time in my life. I wanted to enjoy those moments of, I hopefully will never get married again, and obviously we'll never have Reagan again.
Right.
Birth her and be pregnant with her. But so I took it off. But yeah, so finally that's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you did it and didn't tell anybody.
Well, it was just kind of like something I want to do for myself.
Yeah.
I think coming back from my childhood, I had a lot of insecurities and things that I wasn't. I believed that I wasn't those things, and I felt like I had to do it for myself.
Right.
And it was, as I'm kind of modest at some point. Some things I am, some things I'm not, I guess. And I just didn't really, I don't know, I felt like it was mine, and
No, I agree. I don't really talk about it a lot. Like, I don't tell people about it. I think there's also a bit of an embarrassment to the thought that I'm 40 and this is happening, and why didn't, like, it's not that big of a deal because I should have done this at 25. So I do, and it sounds crazy, right? It's an embarrassment of an accomplishment.
Right.
Like, oh, what are you graduating with? Like, oh, my bachelor's, like, and not my master's. Like, people would expect that would be the answer, maybe.
Right.
And so, but there are so many people who didn't go the route I, went as well, didn't go to college after high school, and they just chosen not to, or life was busy, and it does take a lot to do these things as well as have a job and whatnot. But I don't it is something that was really done for me as well. So
yeah, and it's an accomplishment. But you're right, and people who did the right thing. Is there a right thing? I don't think there is a right thing. Like life happens. You have kids. You get married. Work-life balance. That's tough.
It is.
And then it's expensive to go to school.
It is. I mean, you got your master's degree. Let me ask you, when you did it, did you feel like some of the work was easy? I tell Jason, I'm like, this is so easy. I don't know why it's so easy. And I think it was easy because I had life experience behind it.
Bingo. What's funny is that I always did really well in math in high school. I was telling Taylor, and I probably shouldn't tell my daughter this, but I purposely had my mother fill out a form. I wrote the letter and then I had her sign it.
Right.
I might have signed it for her. Right. But I wanted to be in pre-algebra in 11th grade. Because I knew that I just didn't want to be in class.
Right.
And it actually ended up being my first period class, so I never went. I actually had 105 in that class. Granted, we were doing fractions at the end, but still. But math was always really strong for me. And I just thought I was really good at math. And so, but what I had found after going back to school and working, English became my best subject, which was just crazy to me. And I think it was writing memos or emails and being young in life and just being around professionals, my business lingo is different than my personal lingo and how I speak. And I still struggle with saying the right words and pronunciation, if I'm even saying that right. But I found that English was definitely by far was easy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how in the world? Because I hated English in high school. It was just my word. Well,
Yeah.
Because I was cheating off of you.
In English class.
And then it just came to me where the math, forget about it.
Yeah.
Like the equations and the the parentheses, forget calculus. I took it 4 times.
Oh wow!
It was just that bad, but I had to have that.
Right.
And I was like, I would cry. I mean, it was just insane. But yeah, definitely, you're right.
It was great because some of the stuff I'm like, they teach this. This is so stupid. But I guess because fortunately enough, yes, I just now getting this degree. I've been doing insurance for 16 years now. I have, my insurance 220 degree agent's license, and I've been so fortunate. I have a fantastic job, and I am the manager in the office that I run, and they did not require this bachelor's degree in order to be their office manager, which some places do, so they gave me a really great opportunity when I got that job, and it's given me a lot of success with that. And it doesn't change my job by getting this bachelor's degree, but what I do every day and then getting this business management degree, it was kind of like, this is crazy. Like, this is common sense.
Right.
It was truly like common sense. So I go to write papers and I'm like, I think I wrote a really bad paper because it was like, I just didn't feel like this was fantastic. And then it would come back as like a 95, like great ideas. And I'm like, but it was crap.
Right.
Or it felt like it was because it just seemed like it should have been harder.
And you were overthinking it too much.
And then I'd go pull up, like you can pull up like the statistics of grades in your class where you stand with everybody else.
Right.
And I'm thinking this must just be an easy class. Everybody's got a 92 in this class, right? No, the average grade would be like a 74.
Wow.
And I'm not tooting my own horn, but like I'm so smart, because that's not the case. This just goes back to like, yes, what was the right path? So this clearly was not, this was the right path for me. Like, I gained much more taking these classes in my 30s than I would have in my 20s.
Right, coming out of school, and then you have all the pressures of just being a grown-up, where you've already kind of like, it's stressful, when you have a child and you have a husband and you have to do work and do life, and then you have to come home, feed them, do them, and then go in my office for like, 3 hours at a time.
And write papers.
And I never did good with online classes. I did a few online classes. I think I did psychology online, but the rest of them I had to go there because I had to be present. I had to be there. Especially with math, I had to watch it on the board, on the chalkboard, like I had to be there. But dealing with stress in an earlier life, it kind of helps you prepare you for just one more thing on the belt.
Exactly.
And as women, we can just do about anything. But at 20, I think it would have been a lot tougher. Experience the whole college life thing. I experienced college life still. The drinking part.
Yeah, exactly.
Not the other part.
I mean, like, it's your philosophy. What do you do first?
You gotta do what you gotta do, then you can do what you want to do.
Exactly. So you go to school, you go to work, and then you find your balance.
Right.
And that's part of the learning process of growing up as well, is that you have to find balance, because what happens now when you graduate college? You're just gonna go enter the workforce and be like, oh, sorry, but I got drunk last night, so I'm gonna be late.
Right. And that's the mentality, but that's, unfortunately,
so
it's kind of accepted.
You gotta have that balance.
Yeah, definitely. Well, and I think one of the reasons too is that we connect on things like that, and we understand, you know, what it's like to be a mom and to be a wife and to be a single parent, because I've had my stint where I was a single parent. So there's a lot of connection and correlation there. And I think with us wanting to create this podcast was just like, one, we just want to be able to like go sit in a trailer and talk to each other.
Exactly. And our husbands are like, oh, we'll have fun, instead of being like, oh my God, you're hanging out again.
Right, exactly.
Not that they would say
Exactly.
it. I just mean, like, it's not like we're at a bar or anything, you know. And also, as much as we are loving all over each other, oh, you're so wonderful. I mean, we don't always agree.
No.
But we're respectful of
Yeah,
each
you
other.
made me really mad at the Sake Sushi restaurant. Well, we didn't. I shouldn't say mad. When you and I went to dinner that night, not mad. We were just disagreeing.
Disagreeing,
And I finally said, we're going to agree to disagree.
That's it. Like, I think we're not the same person.
No.
So some things don't have to be an agreement on it. We just be like, okay, we'll move on from it.
Right. It's healthy conversation.
Yes.
Gets intense, but it's healthy.
And well, we were drinking too, so I probably got home. I have learned so much in my sobriety of being pregnant that many of fights happen because people are drinking.
That is so true.
You
when
know?
you're not on each other's level.
No, and I think this should be a rule for everybody. If people are drinking and a topic is getting to me, you know you don't agree on, end it.
Shut it down.
End it. Talk about it tomorrow when you're sober and realize that it was so stupid.
Right, because it's
And nobody and I find myself, I will, like, if I disagree with somebody and I'll be like, okay, like, I disagree, and then it gets to the point where it's like, I may even be arguing with something I don't even agree about anymore because I'm going to win this argument.
That's right, because you're going to be right.
I want to be right.
You're going to be right all the time.
Yeah, and as I get older, hopefully I'm learning from that.
I just think it's a quality. It's a quality you have. It's a good quality.
At first I believe in something, and then it will start to morph into something else, and I don't even believe in it. Why am I fighting for it? I'm a fantastic debater, apparently.
Yeah, that's what you should have went. You should have went to law school. That could be next on your plate.
That's it. Yeah, no, thank you.
We need a lawyer in the family.
Yeah, when I might get my master's degree, I think Jason and I talked about it because he wants to get his master's degree, and I think we're gonna wait for Gavin to graduate high school.
Yeah,
we only have a couple years left with him. I don't want to be sitting at the kitchen table anymore with my books and missing out with Gavin. So I think we're gonna wait for that. Florida State has a nice master's degree program online, and I can get my risk management master's degree, which is in insurance. So it takes what I do a step further, and then Jason can get his MBA. Although I thought maybe I would just go on and do the same program as him. It'd be a little easier. The two people doing the same program.
You could cheat off of him, or he could cheat off of you.
They might catch that.
Is it online?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that makes it a lot easier then.
And I thought too would be cool. Like, my whole family have had a diploma from Florida State.
Right. Well, that would be
big deal
cool.
in my house.
Apparently it is. That's going to be the path for Gavin and for Reagan and soon to be Kim, because that's what I'm going to name her. Baby number 3. Kim or Kin. I don't know. Either way.
We'll put that on the list.
Yeah, we'll put that on the list. Please do. Because it means warrior.
Warrior.
Just so you know, that's what the book said. Or one of those magnets. You know those magnets
you
find
got it like the gift shop at like...
And, oh my gosh, south of the border. Yeah. Like, that place is so run down. But it's a mecca place to go to when you're traveling in the Carolinas. But yeah, I mean, it definitely is. This has been something that when you came up with it, I remember, like, you had come over to the house for, like, I think we were a barbecue or something, and we were just chatting as always, and you're like, I really want to start a podcast. And it's crazy to me because I had just started listening to podcasts,
right?
Probably maybe a couple of months prior to that, like a lot of self-help, because I need as much as I possibly can and for free. So I have, like, some of my favorites, like John Maxwell. He's, he's a guru, and Rachel Hollis. I love her. She's really good with self-help. And so I was listening to self-help podcasts, and I thought, oh my God, that'd be so much fun. It seems like it would be so easy to do. Well, once you start getting into the recording part and the talking part,
this part's easy.
This is the easy part.
Well, actually, it wasn't. I think the first time we hit play, I was so nervous. And what am I nervous about? Just sitting here with you.
And sweats. Like, we had to dress up for this thing.
And, like, I mean, even today, like, we have, in all openness and fairness, this may be episode 1, but we have recorded 5 episodes thus far.
Right.
So even today, we're done this 5 different times, and it still is a little, like, straight out the trailer, like, how do we do this?
And then the other thing is that my most scary part is, because we are recording this on my phone, is that I hit delete.
Yeah.
So I'm like sitting there really thinking it through. Once we record it, I make sure I send it to you. Yeah. I send it to we have a Google Drive box, so it lives somewhere. Yes. So God forbid I forgot my phone. And actually, I had thought I left my phone yesterday because we went to the Christmas parade, and we'd taken our golf cart, and I I thought I had thrown it in a bag, and I couldn't find it. It was in the bag. And I'm like, my podcast! Like, that was my first thing. I didn't care about my contacts, my texts, or nothing. Or my passwords, or my bank.
Yeah.
You know, but it's been an experience, because the cool thing is that, you know, when you said, let's start a podcast, and then, like, let's do it. And then we've kind of evolved into different topics. I mean, we share notes so that we are kind of in tune. Like, if something happens, or Karen did something, like, boom, it goes on the notes, and we share them, so we see them. So we've got a lot of good topics already in the bank. Like, we already kind of have ideas, and we, as things will happen, and with Karen does something, or life happens, or, you know, maybe the news or things like that. I don't know if we're going to be getting into politics and things like that. That's kind of
it's off. Nobody wants to hear that.
Nobody. There's plenty of podcasts for that kind of stuff.
And we record on Sundays. So we record on Sundays, and our hope is to always drop on Friday.
That's right.
You know, this obviously is the beginning, so things could change. So please just be patient with us and how we work through this. But so a lot of the stuff on Sundays could totally be what happened Friday and Saturday when people are drinking.
That's right, because you never know. Because that makes. I just have to make sure I stay semi-sober on Saturday, so I can make it to the trailer on Sunday. Or I may be just saying, "Hey, come pick me up tonight. I'll sleep in the trailer. I'll be ready to go tomorrow. Just make sure
don't throw up.
Just don't throw up. Make sure my phone's charged. I'll be in here doing Bible study with Grampy.
Yes, with Grampy.
He's
gonna come in here.
That would be a good one if I was laying over.
Oh my God, he would be like, he feels bad. He's like, I'm so sorry, because he's so sweet.
Or I'll go get in the bed, the crib with Reagan.
Exactly.
You just never know.
And I think that doing this and coming and talking with you about it, I mean, people can do podcasts. 2 people can do podcasts. You know, they're out there. For me, is that I know you'd always show up.
Right.
And I knew that I wouldn't have to worry about, you know, sometimes I'm like, oh God, am I doing enough? That's how I always feel. Am I doing enough? Am I doing enough? And I know that you've had to carry a lot more of the load because I've finished up school, and, you know, I hope that I pick up more of my duties, and you know, like, God, Tricia doesn't do anything, but
no, not. I mean, I know you've got life. You know, you've got a 2-year-old running around. You know, and you're finishing up school, and I right now am working part-time, so it kind of gives me some flexibility, and I like to learn. You know, and I want to do it myself, kind of thing. So you know, when I got the headphones on at the house, and I'm trying to edit, or I mean, I get excited when I put 2 audio files together. It's like learning something. You always have to learn, keep learning, right? Otherwise, your mind goes stale. So, and the Facebook stuff, that's kind of like the social media.
Knew a lot
that's
of
in
that
my wheelhouse. And we are going to be working on our website soon enough. It's going to be whathappenedthisweek.com.
Yes.
So there'll be a lot of fun stuff going on there.
Yes, and that's definitely, I tasked myself with a lot of that stuff, so that'll be good. I just know that neither one of us, it's like my marriage, like your marriage. So if everyone's giving, both parties are giving all the time to this relationship, then it's going to be successful. I understand that. And I understand in my marriage that, you know, there might be times that Jason can't give 100%.
Right.
And so therefore I need to give more, you know, and I think that's the same thing here, is that we're both giving, and we want this to succeed, and we're working at it very hard. And there's going to be times where one of us can't give more, and so the other one has to, but because of our relationship, there's no resentment with that.
Right. It just goes. It's just like 2 weeks ago, we had planned on recording a podcast. Unfortunately, I was under the weather.
Yes.
And that was self-induced. It was something self-inflicting, I should say. And so I should have been on my A game, and I had brought, our setup, aka the microphone and my phone. But I just, I thought, oh my gosh, we got a balcony. We could totally sit out here and drink coffee, but that was my vision. And do the podcast overlooking the water.
Yes.
It didn't work out that way.
No, it did not.
And you knew it wasn't going to work out that night. When you had to put me to bed.
I did. We'll get to that in a couple episodes. We'll do a recap of that.
So I have to apologize, not in advance. I have to apologize after the fact.
Yes.
For not showing up that day.
Yeah.
I was there. You saw me.
Yep.
You woke up with me, essentially.
I did.
But I just, I was like, dang it.
And it was okay.
I know. I just have to apologize. I have to make sure to keep my nights sober on Saturday.
So what we'll do is, we always promise we'll do to you guys as the listeners. We'll always have a couple in our bank. In case one of us can't perform on a Sunday, we'll drop that one from the bank on that Friday.
That's right. And you're kind of locked down for the next I don't know, 6
more
months. 6
yeah,
months. And then after that, probably. So
yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. So we might be on hiatus in the middle of June. You have to come to the hospital. We can record
oh my gosh, we could totally. Can you see me? Oh my god, excuse me. I need to get this on the podcast. This is the day in the life of what she's going through.
This is the birth story. And
I'll say, I think you're only allowed to have 2 or 3 people in the room or something.
Yeah.
All right, so you're gonna have to tell Grammy and Mimi they're out. Okay, I got to be in there.
I mean, I bet any indication of my other 2 children being born, there's quite a lot of audio to be had. So
we might have to kind of like, as long as it's not curse words, which I can only imagine. That would be funny to podcast your birth.
I was like, Gavin was really tough. Reagan, I finally got epidural, so it was very easy.
That'll even be better because you'll be on drugs.
They're good drugs. They're not hallucinogens or something.
They could be. Like, I could ask you anything. I could ask you to marry me and you might marry me.
They do now, though, is so they've done like this versus like an epidural, you can do essentially laughing gas. And instead of the epidural, and Jupiter Medical has it. That's where I'm having Reagan, or not Reagan, the new baby. At any rate, they offer that. And I was like, oh no.
Yes.
It probably makes you so loopy you forget about it.
Sign up for it. I totally sign up. Give me some. We can do a podcast together on laughing gas.
It'd be the giggles.
Oh my god, that would be hilarious. We'd have to record it and we'd have to definitely listen to it like the next day. Yeah. And that would just like, it's like we're tripping or something.
It would be like, how was your birth experience? Oh, let me play it for you.
A good 45 minutes of just us bantering about unicorns
with the giggles,
with like
it's not a hallucinogen. It's just a giggle box.
I'd like to maybe take something else to go along with it.
What'd you take? Don't worry about it. Just give me some of that gas.
I only get to legitly do this once in my life.
Exactly.
I'm like, let me go down on the street corner of Vera Beach real quick, and I'll come back. No, I don't do that kind of stuff.
So this is our podcast to you guys. We hope that you listen, continue to listen. Like, I promise they get better.
They do get better. This is we're just trying to learn and as we go along, and so we hope that you guys as listeners, our biggest thing is we want to be real. We want to be authentic. Yes. We're not trying to be fake by any means. No one's perfect and we know that. And so we're going to have guests on the podcast talking about real life things. We've got a whole, bank of ideas and things that we want to talk about.
And we're always open to people bringing ideas to us. Yeah. We have our Facebook page, our Instagram page, our website. Leave a comment, like things you'd love to hear us talk about or hate to hear us talk about. We understand we're putting us out there, which is scary.
Very scary.
We understand that there's plenty of people who aren't going to like us.
Right. And that's okay.
And we're okay with that. I mean, we would prefer no hate mail, but I guess if you got to forewarned, you will be blasted on the podcast. But,
absolutely. We will. And we will not use Karen as your name. We will use your real name.
But it is something that comes with it. And, I think that you hope that you become big enough that there will be some people that hate you. And we really hope that you support us as much as we support each other.
Absolutely.
This is something that we're taking the time to hope to share a little bit of us with you, a little bit of other people's lives with you. We just hope you enjoy it.
We do.
If you don't, well,
it's okay too.
Suck it.
At least we'll make you laugh for like 45 minutes and then you can just say, oh my god, they suck. And then they're like, whatever, you listened to it and you downloaded the next episode.
Exactly.
That's on you, buddy, not me.
And we do hope you leave us hate mail because you'll give us a whole episode to talk about.
You'll make us feel better. At least we know somebody's listening.
Exactly. Our one listener.
We appreciate you guys. Thanks so much and stay tuned for the next episode.
Bye.